let's get going. Got it. All right. So we're going to take a look at updating listing presentations. It's a new year. So we want to get those listing presentations up and running or updated with new stats, right? So we're going to go through what it looks like to do all that in designs. First things first, though, it does help to always have your marketing profile done, right? In settings. And then connect settings, making sure we have that marketing profile updated all the way, right? Okay, so we're gonna head to designs on the side here. And then we are going to create a new design. We'll just assume we haven't done one yet. And then we'll show you where to find it. So we'll hit create design on the top right-hand corner. And then this is a print design, okay? So hit continue. And the really great thing I like about these listing presentations is there's a couple to choose from and there's a lot of content done for us. So we're really just, we're putting our touches on it, our branding on it, really. So over here, we'll see all the different items, all the different assets we have that we can choose from. The one thing I would encourage you, if this is your first couple times in designs, is to head over to the assets tab and go ahead and go through and add all this kind of stuff. So images, you can go ahead and put the KW Dulles logo. You can put your, your logos, your self-portraits, or you can just choose logos either way. Put in the logos or images. It's actually kind of the same thing, but go here and you can, if you have certain colors that you like to use, you can put them on the color wheel here. So that way they're easily accessible when you're updating, items. Well, I'll show you, why you want to do this here in a second. If you have certain videos that you like to do or put onto stuff. And then elements are like, I'll show you what an element is, but it's just really important to go through and at least put the different colors if you have a certain color palette that you use for your business. If you like to use certain fonts, or if you use certain verbiage, like you use your email all the time, or you use your web addresses, things of that nature. Because when you come over to the listing presentation, it'll be a lot easier to update, and I'll show you why. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different listing presentations templates that we can use. I think probably the last two are the better ones, but I haven't looked at these in a little while. Well, this modern one or approachable. I don't know. I tend to like this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit use on this one, and it's gonna pull us up the editing function part now. All right, so I'm gonna skip that. So, and the reason why I told you you want to go ahead and maybe get those assets in there is because now they're already here. I don't have to upload them every time I come in, right? So if I want to add in these pictures anywhere, I can just go ahead and quickly add them. So my logo is here under logos. I can go ahead and quickly add that to something, right? Size it, move it. This isn't a page that I would use though. Obviously it's just the cover page for the template. So what you want to do first is you're going to pick the pages that you want, right? And it's probably going to say that here in the instructions. Right, so we want to go through and customize all the pages that we want first. So we want, for sure, we want to use this front page. Okay. I don't think we want to add a new page, do we? No, we don't want to do that. Let's delete that. So essentially you go through and just kind of delete the pages you don't want, or that you don't plan on using. So there's a lot of different content here. So we're not going to need this front page. So we can go through and delete that. We can delete the instructions page because we're not going to need that. All right, and we're left with this page. The really cool thing, so it comes with a stock picture already, but KW supplied us with a ton of really great images. If we went to images and then add, and then we can, let's see here. Maybe it's under workspace. Yeah, under workspace. And then we can go through and maybe house exteriors might be a good one to put for that. Or you kind of gauge it by the customer or the client that you're going to go see, you know, you can always change this. Or if you just want to put a picture of that person's house, that's a nice touch, a nice personal touch to put on the cover. But this is kind of what you're going to be thinking about, right? You're going to be thinking about how I want to, you know, update this, make it as quick as possible, obviously, because you want to get this out to them. Mostly as like a pre-listing type packet is how I tend to use it. I will email this to them in anticipation of our listing appointment. I'll email it to them, say, hey, before I meet with you, please go through, look at all the information, kind of how I run my business. It's everything about me. If you have any questions, we'll answer them during our 30-minute, 45-minute listing presentation when I get there, or our meeting, however you want to phrase it. But to quickly update images, you just want to click on it. So it'll have the little blue bar around it, right? So you can resize it or whatever, but just to quickly update it to like one of these pictures. Click on it. Why isn't it? Usually it gives us the recycle picture. That's weird. What if I delete? Huh. Wonder why it does that sometimes. So when you click a picture, it should give you the ability to quickly swap it. So when I click on this like picture of her face, you should get this little replace images thing, right? So then I can just hit that button and it quickly throws that in there. But for whatever reason, this one doesn't have that, which is fine. It's a little annoying. So what you'd want to do is just add the picture and then you would just resize it manually, essentially. Which kind of sucks because they don't always resize the best, you know? It could be that this picture wasn't meant to be that size. Let's just Control Z. I hit Control Z to go back because you can undo anything that you do. As you can see, I'm going back. But there is an undo button. Let's control, which is here, undo and redo, right? If you make a mistake, no worries. You can just go backwards. Maybe there's different images that will let us replace. Could be the nature of these. Let me see here. How about like lifestyle ones? Huh. Don't like that. That's annoying. Well, that one's fine. But as you can see, if you want to add a different one, you can just hit the button and then resize it to the spot to how you want it. Just advise putting a picture of their house if you have it. And obviously you want to update your picture here. So I'll click on that face of that lady and then I'll throw my picture in there. What? Oh my goodness. I love how it just loves to not work when I want it to. All right, so I'll throw it in there, resize it. Awesome. Then we have our name. And then we obviously don't want it to say DBA name, right? We want it to say KW Dulles. So I'll add the KW Dulles logo in there. There we go, nice and clean. But then we get to the text. So when you're working with text, the best way to do that is to first click on the text you want to update. And then we go up here and then we have this toolbar of all the things we can do with this text. Right, so we can change the font and it's going to show you what that font's going to look like. Like these are literal, how these fonts look are exactly how they're going to appear. Right, so we can change it to, gosh, any number of fonts. Some people have, so like my sister, she does stationary letterpress and all that kind of stuff. She's like a font savant person. I don't even know, like I will send her, sometimes I'll just send her a text with a different type of font and she'll just like, we'll play a game and then she will like tell me exactly what fonts it is and she's right most of the time. So what I'm saying is a lot of people like have fonts that they like to use all the time. So the odds of it being here are pretty high. We have a lot of different types of fonts. All right, so if you like to use, you can update that to whatever you want. That's the first thing I would look at. Second thing is you can obviously size it, make it fit correctly. But most importantly, when you're changing it, it's a lot easier to use this, this function here, this little T typewriter. I would recommend using that. And the reason I would is because it will allow you to put spaces and make like paragraphs, and it'll keep that formatting of the paragraph. And it also has a spell check function. And it's just a lot easier to use. And then when you're done updating it, so we'll call this Vinny, and then you'll see it'll let me go to the bottom, and then we'll do Jane. All right, so it'll allow me to put Vinny and then put Jane on the next line, or if I wanted to, I could leave them both on the same line. Right, so that's the reason why I would use the typewriter function as opposed to not using it. It allows you to format better. Just move that under. Everything is pretty much clickable and changeable. So right now I have selected this blue background. Is it blue? Gray? I don't know. Funny thing. So some people spell gray with an EY and AY. I looked up the other day that gray with an AY is used more for like British English, and EY is like American English. Because I was wondering like, when do I use one or the other? And apparently it doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything to this, but I just thought that was interesting. And I just figured that out last week. Anyway, we can change these colors by simply clicking on the colors we want to change. And this is where, how I told you the assets, you can pick your color wheel, right? So I can go ahead and quickly change that to a color that I would more likely use. And then we can like change how dark or light that color appears, right? The stroke color is going to be the outside of the box, I believe. Yep. So see, we can frame that box as well, put like a black line around it. At this point, it's all preference on how you think what looks good, what doesn't look good. And then within there, we can make that line thick, thinner, right? Extremely customizable. And if we don't want any, we probably just want to make that clear. How do we make it clear? We'll just make it the same color as the box. There we go. Now it's gone. Okay. So what we did there was we used our assets to add in our logos, our pictures. We searched for different pictures to update, you know, the aesthetic of it based on our client. How we manipulate the text boxes. Obviously you can bold it, underline stuff. But keep in mind, using the typewriter is going to be key. As you can see, it underlined Vinny's name in red because that's not how you spell Vinny. I wonder if you can add that to, maybe they'll add that, you know, like a dictionary, how you can do that in Microsoft Word, so that way it doesn't underline stuff in red anymore. And then to find those images, all we did there was go under images and then workspace. And then we had all these different folders that we had access to, holiday stuff, you know, for when we're doing Christmas stuff or Hanukkah stuff, whatever. Lots of different stock photos that we have the access to. And then we updated the color wheel essentially. And then making sure your information is up to date. And this is where let me see here, text assets. I don't have any text assets in mind, but if you wanted to have one to where it would do all of this, you know, you could have a text asset that put your phone number, your name, your last name. So all you'd have to do is literally just my assets. I do actually. Just not all in one. I needed to make one that has, I guess I have the address. Right, so I could do that. And then I could throw in my phone number. Right, so all with the idea of making this quick and easy, you know. But what I really need to do is I need to make one that has the full thing, you know, like my address, my license number. Would make this a lot faster, so that way I don't have to go in here and edit the I could literally just hit the replace text and it would throw it in there. Does that make sense to everybody? You know, a lot of people in here now. So so making sure starting off with the my assets is really going to help you go through this a lot faster. And this is just the cover page, mind you. Okay. So moving on, we have our next page, which is going to be our table of contents. It's going to kind of be just kind of what's going on in this report. It's going to be something about their property. It's going to be their guide, how we're going to market it, and then how we will represent their home in their best interest, right? And again, pictures are customizable. We go to images again, workspace. Let's just replace it here. There we go. So then we change the images really quickly to something different. And then I don't know why the picture of that woman just like, she has a very intense look to her. I kind of like the dog. There we go. All right, updated. We'd go through here. Remember, we changed the color on this one, I believe. Very similar. Anyway, but that's kind of what you'd be looking at. And then you can also change, should be able to change the color on these little guys here. Yeah, if you wanted to. So keep in mind, it's a small picture, but can you get a little closer there? There we go. You can get closer and then click on those. And you can change the colors of those too. Like you can make that like your alternate color. So you can keep that color real consistent. Right. All right. So then you move on to the next one. And then I believe the next one is about their home. Right. So this is like a quick little blurb about their house. Ideally, go in the MLS, try to find an old picture of their house. Throw it there. You're going to update the text here on the side. And then this is really where you want to make sure to use that text, the typewriter function, right? Because you want to make sure it all fits correctly. And then they have some, you know, they obviously already have some text in here, so you can kind of go along the same ebb and flow and pattern of this and just kind of update the name. So it says your home is 10% larger than the average property sold in Barton Hills. So maybe it's 10% larger than the property sold in Cascades. So you can just change the percentage and then the name, or come up with your own, you know, paragraphs to fit how you want to highlight. You know, this is basically quick snippets about that home, you know, what makes it unique, and reasons why it could sell for what you're probably going to propose that they sell it for. All right. And then you can update the breakdown here again with the typewriter, how many bedrooms, baths, and then you'd move on. And you can get rid of like little stuff like this. Like if you don't like this up in the corner, you can click on it, hit the delete button, it's gone, but make sure you get the text too. It's still there, and get rid of that. right? If you don't want to say that your property up there in the corner. And as you're going through, you're deciding like, do I want this page, you know, in my presentation? You know, like, do I really want to add this in here? Up to you. You don't have to. This is what's called a market snapshot. To find these, you want to go to KWLS, and then you're going to click on snapshots. So, and then we're going to search. So it could be, let's search for Cascades, or we could do it by postal code. Probably better by postal code. I think you get a little bit more data. 20176. And then we'll hit the search. Yeah, that's me. I want to search that. Okay, pop up. Fine, we'll try neighborhood name. Let's try Cascades. Okay. Well, it was just working. I was just testing this the other day. It's like KWLS might be down or something, because normally it'll just populate the different types of snapshots over here on the left hand side, and then you would literally just click on this one and you would replace it, you know, with your local neighborhood. Because right now this is just an image and we can't update these numbers, which that's annoying. I wish that would work right now. Let me try it again. Okay. Come on now. Well, we'll have to come back to it. Maybe it'll work later. Anyway, and again, a lot of pre-done words for you here. You're going to go through and you're going to update your app web address. If you don't know where to find that, very easy. You would go to, and this is assuming that you've set up your website and your app already. You would go to your consumer tab down at the bottom. And you go to site and app settings, URLs, and then you're just going to copy and paste this app URL, right? And then you can put it right in there. And really, you're just changing that little backslash there at the end. It says app.kw.com. This might be a little small for people to see, but let me scroll down there a little bit. So the app dot, and then really it's just the this last portion is the part that you're updating. So you can just go in here, click on this little text box here, hit the typewriter, and you would just change the X's, right? And then you can get that in there. And then moving on. And then again, a lot of good like pre-written stuff. And if you don't like this page, you just go in here, hit the 3 double dots, and then you don't have to add that page into your presentation at all, right? And then this is essentially, this next page is a kind of like a CMA type page. You know, you're showing what the other nearby like properties sold for. So this is getting into the pricing conversation, right? And again, I like sending this as a pre-listing packet, so that way they have an idea of where this conversation is going to go. Hopefully they review it before you get there. It's always nice to ask them if they did. They could still lie to you, I assume, but hopefully they took the time to look at some of these pages. And then really you're just going through and making sure that this content is content that you want to provide in there. It's pretty decent stuff that has a good checklist of like a good process of kind of how it's going to go. right? How this whole thing is going to go. We're going to have our initial walkthrough. We're going to sign the listing agreement. I like how it puts in their signed listing agreement as part of the process. That's really nice, right? It's kind of subconsciously letting them know, like, I'm going to go there. We're going to do our walkthrough. If everything looks all right, we agree on price. We're going to go ahead and sign the listing agreement, and then we're going to start getting it ready for sale. We're going to launch our coming soon campaign. If you don't do a coming soon campaign, just delete that item, right? Move it out of your checklist, and then move everything else around to, move it up. But when you have a checklist that looks like this long, right? This is a lot of items. We're constantly having to prove our value and provide value. So this shows like what we're doing for them throughout the process. It's not just putting it on the MLS and, giving them a contract. There's a lot of stuff that's going into this. We're taking care of them at every step of the turn, making sure that they know what's going on, right? So this is a good way to show, how we do that. So I like to add that page into mine. What's this next page? This next page, they kind of changed a few things here. The app, right? So this is showing them that there is a selling guide on the app, so they could follow along. If you're using, opportunities at a high level, you can be checking these things off as they go. So maybe they can, you can train your clients on, using the app to get an update on what's going on, instead of just giving you a call or texting you. So it might be a way to free up your time. If that's not how you do your business, go in here, delete the page, gone, right? And now this is introducing them to their custom marketing plan that they're going to be, getting from us. It's going to throw some numbers out there, finding your buyer. How are we going to find them? Obviously, the internet is most likely this buyer's going to come from the internet, looking at Zillow, looking at Redfin. Whoa, what happened to those things? They like shut to the top of the screen. That was interesting. But this is a good way to show you how we can. Oh gosh. Can I rotate it? Oh. And now they're gone. Crazy. Doing some fun stuff today. My goodness. So anyway, the main idea is though, I wanted to show you how to put in the assets in there so that way you can quickly access your personalized stuff. So you can personalize this kind of all the materials. But then you really go through, pick the page. The next thing I would do is pick the pages you want, and then go back and just start changing the colors, updating the fonts, updating the verbiage and all of the texts, making sure it's how you want it. And then from there, once you kind of get everything, you get all the pages you want, you get all your content filled out, all the pictures updated, and you want to make sure, give it a good title, right? So, right, yeah, just listing presentation 1.12.22. I like putting dates on stuff. So this is when you're done, ready to go. It does autosave, but never hurts to hit a save one more time. And then there's a couple different ways that we can get this, finished product off of this. So they use a company called WeBrand. It's like a Canva type product to give us the ability to do all this, editing and stuff. So then we can download this as a PDF. We could do it as one big JPEG. I don't think we'd want to do that. You'd want to do PDF for printing. I believe is probably the best way to do this. But right now we have just page 11, right? So we'd want to download the whole thing. Okay. So we'd want to hit all pages here, and then we'd hit the download button, or else you're just going to download the one page, and that's not what you want. So that's going somewhere now, preparing, right? So we have this little gear turning. Hopefully it actually downloads. Kind of had few glitches here and there, but so that downloads the whole presentation. You should be able to have that on your hard drive. So it says starting download now, and it's giving us a percentage. But go through, first pick like I said, as you saw before, there were 5 different versions of this listing presentation, and not just versions, they're actually different. They'll have different verbiage, they'll have different pages. So go through and pick the one that best kind of fits you and how you like to do business. And then, like I said, you're going to go through, pick the pages you like, and then you're going to start updating pictures, color schemes, fonts. And it's going to take you, a little bit of time. Set aside probably an hour or so if this is the first time you're using designs. But then keep in mind, this is something that you can have professionally printed. This is something you're going to be emailing your clients, maybe dropping off on their doorsteps before listing presentations. And as you can see, once it's done downloading, I have a high res quality, PDF version of this that I can go through and now email to my clients. Or like I said, if you have a good printer, print it off, put it in a little booklet and send it off to them. So just wanted to see if there's any questions about designs in particular, maybe how to find listing presentation, you missed the first part, or anything around how to get started and get this updated and have something for your listing presentations.
Mike, I missed the first maybe about 4 minutes of your presentation. In designs, how do I get to the part of designs to get to this? I missed that whole part. I'm seeing WeBrand, but.
Sure. Yeah, so all you would do here is you'd go to the design section here on command.
Right.
You would hit create design, you'd hit print and then continue. And then that's going to take you to.
Okay. Okay.
1 second. It's going to take you to this template section. And then under listings is where you're going to find the listing presentations. Under buyers, where you're going to find the buyer presentation.
Okay.
And then there's a ton of other items that we, lead generation stuff, testimonials. There's a lot of content on here that's already pre-done that you just need to put your touches on, especially like holidays, really easy social posts, all the holidays that are in January.
Right.
Ready to go in different formats. Like they're already ready for like Facebook stories. So we have social stories, right? So all you have to do is just put it on your computer and throw a logo on there and it's ready to go. And they have it for every month. What's in February? Is that President's Day?
President's Day, Valentine's Day.
Oh, it's the year of the ox. But there's a dragon. Okay, well, there's an ox on this one. So that's a fun one. So I don't know if you guys knew that. If it was the year of the ox, I should have done a giveaway before I clicked on that.
Giving away an ox?
Huh?
Giving away an ox?
Maybe like a figurine, like how they do on the radio, where you win like a Toyota, but it's literally like a toy version of Yoda from Star Wars.
Bada boom.
But yeah, come through and kick around here, but definitely start. I mean, if you're new to designs, the first thing you should be doing is your presentations, your listing presentation, your buyer presentation, because when you do find a client, you want to have that ready. You want to have that piece of collateral to give to them to show that you are someone who has a plan for them, right?
Okay.
Any other questions?
I have a DocuSign question when we're done with this.
Oh, yeah, I saw your email. I haven't noticed that error. And like you said, it's been intermittent for you. I haven't reached out to the RTT yet. But did you submit a ticket?
I did not. I was giving it a little time to see if it resolved. So if it's not resolved today, I'll submit a ticket.
Yeah, do it again. And if it happens again, submit a ticket and then send me the information from that ticket. And then I'll forward it along like how we did last time.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. So you guys are ready to go, right? You know where to find them, how to update them. Like I said, right when you come into here, work on the assets portion first to get all this kind of stuff ready, and it'll make doing the customization a lot faster for you, right? If you have all your images and logos and fonts and colors ready to go, then when you open up the brand new listing presentation, you're literally just clicking and dragging and resizing, moving on to the next page, you know, colors, fonts, boom, next page. It'll make you a little bit more efficient when updating these. So that's what I got for you guys today. Hope you get in there and post some of your finished products on our Facebook page. You know, give some of our other agents a little bit of inspiration. You know what they could expect to do. I think that's really helpful. So.
Thank you.
All right, my pleasure, guys. Take care. Any questions, shoot me an email. Like I said, Peter, just when you put the ticket in, give me the ticket number or forward me the email that you get from it. Okay.
Okay, will do. Thank you.